Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our Week 5 fantasy football starts and sits for the Thursday night football game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. We're here to help you figure out on who you should keep in your lineup and who you need to get out of there. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin, that is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Kyle, I wasn't talking during that entire intro, so I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
because everybody says, I've been saying stuff. I've been rocking. I've been getting ready. I'm rocking. People might hear that, but hey, today, guys, we're going to hit you with the Thursday night football starts and sits. And this is the game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Go Hawks. But ahead of this game, you definitely... I know. Yesterday, we hit you with the waiver wire ads for Week 5. Definitely check that out. And you really want to check out to see who in your league maybe drop somebody as well. Maybe somebody of value, like on a whim.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Pick up that guy.
Don't be that guy.
All right, guys, let's
what you got, Kyle?
Go down there, hit that like button, and while you're there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you can find out when we are starting the live stream on Sunday for our pregame show that we do. We talk about all kinds of starts and sits, questions. We get a whole lot of this last one was awesome. We had a ton of great questions, actually. Really complicated, close questions. Who would you go with here and there? Some good results, I think, some not the best results, but hey, touchdowns are a very high variance stat, right?
Statistics.
There it is. All right. So if you need any help, feel free to drop a comment down below asking us a question. Just raise your hand and say,
Little help now.
that's right. If you need, we can help you out, but make sure you get that question in early. That way we can address it maybe during our full breakdown of all the games. Otherwise, you can hit us up on the pregame live show, which has actually been a ton of fun. It's been really fun, actually, interacting with everybody all the time there through that. So let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, start talking about this Thursday night football game, Justin. We got the Rams up first here, right? It's Rams at Seahawks. All right, so Matthew Stafford, believe it or not, I'm going to say he's just a flex right now. So I would play him in 2 QB super flex. Yeah, you'll see why here. 2 QB super flex league only right now for me. He's too hit and miss to trust in your standard league lineup right now. That's really the problem. You might have him as your only QB. That's okay, I think. I think that's fine, but you're kind of leaving something to be. You're kind of coming up short there. You should be a bit worried in my mind. Some weeks he's QB1. Sometimes he's not, and that's really what it boils down to. It's really problematic right now. Just look at the numbers where he's finishing, and you're probably going to be less than happy there. There's a couple guys on the waiver wire that you could go in and you could grab right now, like Darnold we talked about. Who else did we talk about in our ads? Darnold's a really good one to add right now.
We talked about Heineke, but I don't know if that would be.
I don't know if Heineke's an upgrade. I'm not talking about dropping Stafford and going to grabbing a guy off the waiver wire. I'm just saying you need to see him more consistent. Obviously, he just started in this offense, so things are going to be a little bit of time. It's promising that he is doing fairly well, actually, this early on in this offense, but I need to see more consistency out of him, and I think the second half of the season is where you're going to see him sort of start to shine. Darrell Henderson is actually a start for me. He's been startable as an RB1 or an RB2 every time he's suited up. So if he's playing and you have him, make sure he is in your lineup, right? You got to. Robert Woods, this one's kind of upsetting, right? I've got him as a flex. He's only had one startable week so far this season, and that was a wide receiver 2. Unfortunately, he seems to be the forgotten wide receiver in this offense now that Stafford is there, right? So I just kind of going to roll back whether or not he should be on the field for you. Right now, it's just not so good. Pardon me. Cooper Kupp is a start. That's the recipient of all of the targets that you would think Robert Woods would be getting a few of, and instead it's all going to Cooper Kupp. But here's the concern, the rub, right? He disappeared last week, but he has been a consistent wide receiver 1 in the other games this season. So out of the 4 games that he's played this year, the first 3, he was a wide receiver 1. Last week, I think it was like a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, somewhere in that range, which means he wasn't even startable as a flex value question. So That's concerning, but I think you're looking for that bounce back game right now, and I think you're going to get that one here. So go ahead and fire him up. Seahawks have a decent secondary, but I think that the Rams are going to find a way to get the ball into their playmakers' hands, and right now that's Cooper Kupp. Tyler Higbee, he's a sit for me. His target opportunity is nice, but he only has one touchdown to show for the less than 40 yards a week that he's been getting. So if you have Tyler Higbee, you don't listen to us usually. So because we did it, we're not fans of Higbee. It's just a low opportunity. They aren't targeting him in the end zone, and they've got bigger wide receivers who are capable of doing that, and they like to run the ball in the end zone. They like to keep the tight ends into block. That's kind of the system that they run. It's just the way it works with the Rams. What do you have on Seahawks? Or do you have anything to add on the Rams?
Not really. Van Jefferson seems to, if for some reason this Robert Woods slide continues, I think Van Jefferson's the one that's going to be the benefactor of that.
Yeah.
So
he's getting a few more targets
there, but that's too boom or bust. But Van Jefferson, second-year wide receiver, has been pretty good, man. But yeah, for the Seahawks, I got Russell Wilson, and he's a start. He needs a bounce-back game. Even though he still finished as like a low-end QB1, he only had about 149 passing yards last week. It was the 3 touchdowns that kind of lifted him up into that low-end QB1. And then for running back, Chris Carson, I'm going to start him, but I'm a little worried right now. Like, why is he losing work to Alex Collins? I mean, maybe Carson was nursing an injury in week 4 that we didn't hear about, but Carson got 13 carries, but Alex Collins got 10. Like, why is that happening? That should not be happening with a guy like Chris Carson. So it is definitely something to monitor, but I would still start Chris Carson because he's shown when he's on the field, he's a top 24 running back. And right now, it's a lot of times it's hard to find that sort of consistency, and that's the guy that usually does provide that consistency. And when it comes to wide receivers, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, start your stud wide receivers, but both of those guys are nursing injuries. You're still going to start them, but keep an eye on practice participation. Both of them said they would be limited if they actually practice when we're recording this, but that first day or two into the week, they just put estimations on if someone would start or practice or not.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You got to wait until the last second, kind of with Thursday night games.
I don't foresee either of these two guys missing this game because this is going to be a big game. This is going to be a fun game to watch, I think. And then that's about all I have, really. Gerald Everett, he was on the COVID list. He actually missed week 4. No, they haven't said anything about him actually being available, but even then, there's a lot better options out there. Even with some injuries out there on tight ends, I think there's better options.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great game. It's a divisional game, so usually they're pretty good. You never know who's going to win in the divisional matchup. Usually they're knockdown, drag-out fights. The one thing I want to caution everybody is make sure that even though we talk about guys being flex values, that does not mean put them into your flex spot, especially if they're playing on Thursday night. You need to make sure they're in a regular roster spot because you need the flexibility in case you have a late injury happen on Friday, Saturday, even Sunday morning. When you find out about it, when you're watching our Sunday pregame show, which we've actually had a lot of last second scratches that we've warned people about coming out literally like 40 minutes before games kick off. So make sure you subscribe down below, as well as that you click the bell so you're notified when we go live. We will also send out a tweet. So if you want to follow us over on Twitter, that's right above me at FFB_upside. We've also got Justin over at JW_the upside and at Kyle_the upside. All of those, if you're subscribed there, you're going to find out when we hit live. Okay, guys? So check us out. We've also got the matchups being broken down later this week, and that's always a fun one. A little bit of a long one, but you know what? We like to screw around, have a little bit of fun. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Thursday night football game between the Rams and the Seahawks. Hope it's helpful for you. Good luck. Bye.
Go Hawks.